Welcome to the Boise State Esports Arena. Tonight, you join us for a very special event with a very special guest. We have got Scott Matlock, defensive end for the LA Chargers, joining us here in the Boise State Esports Arena for a night of gaming with Idaho foster kids and their families, all brought to you by Boise State Esports and the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare. Scott, it's great to have you with us, joining in on this great cause, giving these kids a great night out in such a nice facility. I mean, what's been, just to kind of break the ice, what's been your general impressions of the Boise State Esports Arena and the facility we have? I know a lot of people say this wasn't necessarily the Boise State they remembered when they were here. Does that same go for you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I graduated in 22, and I really didn't even know we had an arena, and now walking through it and seeing what it's become, I think it's like really, really cool, and I kind of wish I could take part in it.
I know, yeah. Is there a master's degree maybe you could go for, or a post-grad? You know, just
absolutely.
Yeah, just get back in there. Well, we want to talk a little bit about tonight and the cause that you're here for, supporting Idaho foster kids and their families. Tell us a little bit about your journey as a foster kid and how it helped shape your life and your journey.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I lost both parents kind of at a young age, so I was forced into foster care, and was able to stay with some family friends and people I knew kind of around. But I bounced around the Treasure Valley, ended up going out to Homedale for high school, and definitely crazy. Ended up staying out there for 4 years for like my high school, and then came back here for college. Spent 5 years Boise State, playing ball, that kind of stuff. And now that I'm in the league, you definitely want to use my platform and where I'm at now to help people that were in my shoes. So it's just really cool to be able to do that right now.
Yeah, that's great. Tell us a little bit about your journey through Boise State into the NFL, because, I mean, I introduce you as a defensive end, but that really doesn't kind of do justice to all that you're doing. You're kind of setting the trend in the whole NFL as being one of the only players playing defense and offense. Tell us a bit about how your journey through Boise State and then into the LA Chargers shaped that unique role that you're in right now.
Yeah, I mean, Boise State did a really good job developing me as not only as an athlete, but as a person, and as a young man growing up. And took 2 years kind of to develop and kind of grow and fill into like my role. But then I started for 3 years at defensive line, and then got drafted by the Chargers as a defensive tackle, and then still been playing D-tackle. But this last year, I kind of found a little small role on the offensive side of the ball, and whatever you can do to help, and the more you can do, adds value. So now I'm just doing that, and special teams too. So
yeah,
it's great.
Yeah, well, tell us, we got a lot of foster kids here tonight. Some will probably come up to ask you some questions. We also got Twitch chat that we'll get to in terms of questions to ask you. But the main thing for the kids here tonight, and the night of gaming that we're giving them, this great opportunity, beyond just the night tonight, what advice would you have, any advice for kids currently in the foster system going forward, maybe wondering, what they're going to do with their future? What advice would you give them?
Yeah, no doubt. That's a great question. I would say, for me, it's find something that you're passionate about. It could be sports, like it was for me. It could be video games, like we're doing here. Whatever it is, like find a passion, find something that you really like, something that's an outlet for you. You can turn to. That's like kind of like your safe space, but something that you can put effort into. Something that's maybe bigger than yourself, right? For me, that's what it. For me, it was sports, and that's what I stuck to. I had an older brother who I always looked up to who played sports and football, so I kind of followed in his footsteps. So that was kind of a no-brainer for me. So definitely just find something you're passionate about, something you love to do, and just stick to it.
Tell us a little more about kind of that journey of getting into sports growing up. How sports and as your main passion, and then we'll get to video gaming too, because I understand you're quite a regular League of Legends player. But tell us how sports or even gaming, have kind of helped you get through various challenges in life.
Yeah, football was always an outlet for me, something I could turn to and exert energy, exert my feelings. Most of the time on somebody else, in a very physical way. But I didn't start really playing sports seriously until high school. I did play in middle school, kind of just normally, but high school was really where I took it seriously, and I played 3 sports a year, all 4 years. So I think that was really big for me as far as development. Yeah.
Yeah, beyond just kind of 3 sports a year, reading about a lot of your journeys in the NFL, what a lot of teammates and coaches have to say about you. I mean, you're really often kind of the first one there to the facility. If it's like a 6:45 show up time, you're there at 5:30. Tell us a little bit about that. Are you just there because do you like showing up early at facilities? What kind of advantage do you like having in, being early to a lot of these matches and showing a lot of initiative?
Yeah, I think that's just something that was built in me, and it's just a habit now. And I like to be there early in case oftentimes I have a routine and I need to do certain things to get ready for the day, whether it's a workout or a practice, this or that. I like to be early, and there's no disadvantage to it. So that's just the way I think I look at it.
Well, let's talk a little bit about what you do on the side in terms of gaming, because I kind of teased that you're kind of a regular League of Legends player, but give us kind of the full story. You were saying kind of a minimum of 1 game per day. I mean, that's a lot of regular League of Legends players, are on the same pace. I was told you got to Plat. Tell us a little bit about your journey with that game.
Yeah, I mean, I started playing probably about 2017, and really my whole childhood I've been really into video games and like first-person shooters, all the Call of Duties I played really. Really big into like racing games growing up as well. Any type of like Supercross or maybe off-road rally racing or like Need for Speed was always really
Need
big.
for Speed, that's classic.
Or, but all the Call of Duties, the Halos was really big, but I never really got into like sport games like NCAA, Madden, 2K, just because I played it. So I didn't want to play it more on a console, So those I'm not really the best at, but League of Legends has been the one staple that's really stuck to me this whole time. And yeah, I mean, it's just fun for me to play. I mean, I have a best bud in high school I still play with. I play with my brother, and it's just fun, kind of turn off the outside world and just go play some games. Thank
you to Ballistic Husky in the Twitch chat. Bolt up. Thank you very much for joining us. Tell us a little bit. When I hear a lot of the games that you're playing, there's Need for Speed, but there's also Call of Duty, League of Legends. I mean, there's kind of a mix of competitive and more casual games. What kind of mode do you usually go? What kind of mindset do you usually go into when you're playing video games? Are you kind of more of a competitive player? Or are you more of a kind of a casual, I play this to relax?
Definitely competitive. I don't play it to just relax. I want to win, whether it's Call of Duty, trying to get the most kills and least deaths as possible, right? The best KDA, or or if it's a racing game, trying to always get first, or League of Legends, trying to climb the ranks, kind of thing. So I'm always definitely competitive.
Now, you mentioned a lot of games that you like to play, but I'm gonna hold you to just one. If you could only have one to play for the rest of your life, which one do you think would you stick that you can always keep coming back to?
It'd probably be League.
Yeah.
Just because it's been that way since up to this point, so why would it change, I guess?
Yeah, already too deep in.
Too deep.
Have you, you with kind of a unique view into both the gaming in terms of what you play in your free time, but also your career in the NFL, have you noticed any kind of similarities between sports and gaming? Is there anything you can speak to that and like things that you've noticed kind of apply to both when you're playing for the Chargers or just on the computer?
Yeah, well, I think the one thing I notice here is like the amount of attention to detail and the effort that is going into this esports facility and the arena. I mean, you guys have coaches, you have a locker room, you have a hydration station, like all that kind of stuff, and it's cool to see how like they're kind of meshing. I think that's really cool. I mean, they're both teams, and you have coaches, and you are all trying to get better, and in different ways, obviously, but it's getting pretty similar. It's kind of cool to see.
We have a question in Twitch chat that I'm going to pull up here. This is for your favorite League of Legends. Scott, for new lethality Tryndamere players, do you recommend Ravenous Hydra as your first item? How does that stack up against tanky topliners like, say, Scion?
Well, it depends on – this is great. I love this. This is awesome. It depends on, I guess, your ruins. If you're going to go lethal tempo, then Hydra is the best option. But if I go Halo Blade, so I go full lethality.
Oh, there you go. Well, I just like that you committed to an answer because you know how these things are with league players. One person's going to try that and then said, "I didn't win. Why did he give me that advice?" But
well, it's probably a different reason for why.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, no, it can't be everyone else. It can't be me. It's everyone else.
Ravenous and the flicker blades.
Yep, there you go. What's your favorite memory from your time here at Boise State? Do any moments really stand out to you above the others?
I mean, yeah, it's the 5 years were great. It was a dream come true being born and raised here. I would definitely say catching a touchdown in the south end zone on senior day. That was kind of cool. Especially I didn't play out I didn't really play offense at that time. Like I had a little package. Me and a couple other D linemen at the time. We would go on like a short yardage goal line, like right there at the end zone, and was able to catch a touchdown pass on senior day. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, we got another question in Twitch chat. Glacier Wolf wants to ask, you mentioned a lot of FPSs that you play, such as Call of Duty. Do you play Halo Infinite at all? Are you familiar with that game? Or
yeah, I did. I got it when it first came out, played the campaign. And then I, played the multiplayer for a little bit, and then, I kind of just stopped. But I did play it for a little bit when it first came out, yeah.
Is there anything that you specifically learned here in Boise State with their athletics program that you carried over into the NFL? A piece of advice that still sticks with you every single game you play today?
Yeah, I would just say overall it was just like the small habits that you create throughout, it's the small things, the being on time and being early, right? It's just the little habits, the discipline, the work ethic, that kind of thing. All those things just stick with you for life.
All right. Now, as you were hearing before we got online and we're ready to broadcast, we have music playing to hype up everybody. A lot of people have their pregame rituals or their hype song. Is there any one that you come back to? You're looking to make a statement out on the field or just help the team toward victory. Is there any go-to hype song that you enjoy listening to?
Oh, man, that's tough. There's so many good songs out there. I mean, I really couldn't tell you. I'd probably have to get back to you on that one.
Okay. Well, at least you're specific in the important stuff, the League of Legends info. So we'll give that to you. That's more. But if you weren't playing football, what do you think you'd be doing right now? Anything from Boise State and the degree you pursued there? I mean, or any side interests?
Yeah. I mean, growing up, I was always really passionate about law enforcement. So, as a kid, I loved watching Cops. And, I loved that show. It was great. So I think I definitely probably would have gone to the academy and would have stayed home, and been a police officer.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah. I got a family member who they gave the exact same reason that you gave for Madden as to why they didn't watch Cops, because it's like they did that for a living and then they come home. Yeah, there you go. But yeah, that's really cool. What's it like being the only two-way player in the NFL? You're kind of out there alone, but being from the work ethic that you've shown, how you show up early, it seems like you're the time to jump in wherever you're needed.
Yeah, being the only two-way player is kind of crazy. I don't really know what I'm doing. Like, I can't fathom what I'm doing sometimes, and I think it's really cool. Obviously, just the more I can do to help the team win, that's all I'm going to do. And if it's playing all ways, so be it. I think it's maybe a new trend. We'll see. Obviously, with Travis Hunter coming, in the draft, we'll see what he does. But I think it's really, really exciting.
Now we're going to go back to the well of Boise State. Just go back to the of League of Legends, just because you showed so much. This is going to blend League of Legends with the NFL. So imagine in case parallel universe, Timo is in the NFL. He's up for draft in the NFL. What team does he best fit into?
That's a great question. Timo into the NFL. Oh, man. What team would he play for? Wow, that's a great question. I just first thought was Raiders, but I don't know. I don't that's a tough question. What? I don't know.
There's
Raiders
a lot of angles.
Kansas City, I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of angles you could take it. Setting up traps, being mischievous. A little impish.
We'll say the Chiefs.
All right, we'll say the Chiefs. There we go. All right. Correct answer. Okay, we got the correct answer just from Doc Haskell, our head coach. He's going with Ravens. He thought that was the correct answer. Oh.
Okay, everyone, that's fine, I guess.
He's entitled to his opinion.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, he's not playing both sides on the NFL in SoFi Stadium, but he's entitled to his opinion. So, all right. Well, I just want to ask just a little bit more about, being in the foster care system for kids going through that journey. The kids that are here today. I mean, it seems like a lot of what you became known for, which was being in the NFL. That didn't really start until high school, and that's kind of an interesting thing. How sometimes when you're young, you don't know what you want to do, and it isn't until later in life that those opportunities for what you're going to do really stand out to you. Is there anything to be said about hoping for the future? Seeing what life has, all the possibilities, that there's still a lot out there.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no doubt. There's always light at the end of the tunnel. No matter how dark it may seem, there was always light for me that I saw at the end of the tunnel, and I just stayed the course. Just focused on the things that mattered right now, which was just, growing up, being a kid, going to school, making friends, all that normal stuff. And I just stayed the course. I had a lot of people helping me and keeping me on the right track and the right path. So, but definitely, I mean, this is not the end all be all. Life is going to continue, and God has a plan for you.
Yeah, and tell us a little bit more about some of those mentors and people who really stood out to you throughout high school, college, or the NFL. Any mentors that really you still remember as help guiding you into the person you are now?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, my older brother's always been a role model for me, looking up to him. I've had so many coaches that have been an inspiration to me and have helped me develop and grow as a young man and into an adult. So honestly, it's just too many to even name.
Well, yeah, I can. Having a brother myself, there always is, that's kind of special bond between an older and younger brother. So that's always really important. Well, we're glad to have you here. If you have any more questions on Twitch chat, please be sure to let us know. Any questions we also have out here to the arena for someone who wants to come out and ask Scott Matlock any questions. We are more than willing to hear you and hear whatever thoughts that you have. We're also going to be getting ready pretty soon here to head into the Boise State Battleground, where I see they're queuing up kind of a Fall Guys match. Have you ever played any Fall Guys at all?
No, first time. I've seen videos, I've seen it, so I guess I kind of know what's going on. But
there's a little bit to be said about the job you're currently in, because you're trying to body your way through toward the end goal.
Yes,
so
it is kind of chaotic. Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see how you are. It's definitely a lot more technicolor than
for sure.
NFL. If the NFL had like a neon pink arena, then maybe that would be like Fall Guys too.
Yeah.
What was your overall also opinion, having played with the Boise State Broncos, did the blue, we're talking about colors of the arena, did the blue field, did you ever feel more comfortable on there, or how was that the secret sauce, having the blue turf?
I mean, growing up, born and raised here, I watched Boise State, all the time, so it was definitely wasn't foreign to me. A lot of guys and teammates I had that would come from, California or any other state, it would be really odd to them at first, but then obviously they got used to it. But I've actually trained with some other guys that I played with in the Mountain West who would tell me, when you guys wore all blue on the blue, one of them was a quarterback. So, trying to, play against our defense was actually really hard. So, it definitely helps us.
I mean, you could say needle in a haystack, but it's really needle in a sack of needles is kind of the effect there, because everything looks the same.
True.
Yeah, well, we've already got some people coming up. While I get this person's question, I wanted to ask, comparing your journey in collegiate sports to the NFL, quick answer, which one kind of gave you more of a rush? Going out into the Boise State Arena, Albertson Stadium the first time, or SoFi Arena the first time?
SoFi, not even close.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer.
Tell us a little bit more about kind of the facilities that you enjoy in SoFi. I'm told you show up early to enjoy a lot of the facilities and go over strategies. What's kind of your favorite things to do in the Chargers area?
Yeah, definitely. I just like to get my body ready, and hot tubbing is definitely my go-to. Definitely take a nice hot tub stretch. Just get ready for the game.
All right, I've got the first question here from Addie in the arena. Wanted to ask you, what was kind of the first, what made you want to become a football player in the first place? Kind of revisiting your childhood growing up.
Yeah.
What drew you to that sport in particular?
Yeah, it was definitely my older brother. He's 5 years older than me, so when I was, in elementary school, I was watching him in middle school play football, and then when I was in middle school, he was in high school, and I was watching him, play high school football, and I was just always, I wanted to do what he did. I just looked up to him, right? And growing up, watching the NFL on the TV, like it was always definitely my favorite sport and everything I wanted to do.
Has the dynamic kind of shifted a little ever since you've been into the Chargers a little bit? Now you're essentially the older brother he looks up to.
Yeah, it's actually, I used to be his brother. Now he's my brother.
I like it. I like that way of thinking. We got one person in the Twitch chat here, Glacier Wolf, asking, you played a little bit of Halo Infinite. Did you delve into ranked at all? Because you, as a League player, I'm sure you know world of difference between casual and ranked. You like competitive. Did you try it at all?
I did not. I really got the game for the campaign. But I did dabble into like the multiplayer, but I didn't play Halo until let's see, I got the new one, but then the last one I played was probably those Guardians. But I don't know. I usually just get them for the campaign, the story. Yeah.
Well, we're talking about video games that you might play in your spare time, but growing up also, you were talking about the sports and looking up to your older brother. But in the world of gaming, I think the main question a lot of people ask for nostalgia reasons is there any console that really really sticks out to you? As kind of, oh man, the summer days playing that all day on that console, that's what I miss.
I was, it's kind of funny because it almost seemed like every year I swapped. It was like one year I had like the PS2, and then I had the original Xbox, then I had the PS3, and then I had the Xbox 360, and then I had PS4, and then I had the Xbox One. It's like I flip-flopped. It was crazy. I never stuck with one.
Yeah.
And then most recently I had an Xbox, but I haven't played that I couldn't tell you since probably Halo.
I mean, the PS2 is a great one to start out on. That's the one I remember starting out on too.
Flip-flopped. It was kind of
yeah, the one who drives all the devotees to either company crazy. How can you keep swapping?
Yeah.
Well, overall in the arena, is there anything here? You saw the battlegrounds, you saw the team area, all the vintage arcade games that we have. What sticks out to you most about the facility here for Boise State Esports?
I mean, it's all so awesome and really cool. Definitely not like what I expected. I think the arena here is pretty cool. I think this is a good atmosphere in here, with the lights and the stage and having be able to have a small crowd. I think that's really cool.
And of course, the same basic rule goes for traditional sports and esports. When people start chanting Boise State, it takes it up to the next level.
Amen.
Well, I also just wanted to ask, Boise State Esports, starting out as a program, I think 8 years ago now, getting close to, collaborating. We already had a little bit of collaboration with athletics. We had the Bronco football team down here to play some Madden. That was great, having all the passion there. If there's anything you remember from your days in athletics, if you had this kind of arena open to you, what would you picture yourself down here playing some games, or?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. If it was open to come use, I would probably be here a lot. Definitely maybe a couple times a week for sure. Definitely would come take advantage of it.
Ballistic Husky in the Twitch chat is wondering if there's any conditioning tips that you have to give out to anyone who is curious about that.
Conditioning tips, yeah. I mean, that's definitely something that is. It's hard to get in shape, but once you're in shape, it's pretty easy to keep it. So getting in shape is the hardest part. Football is a very twitchy game, so sprints are, I would say, the best. 10, 15 yards at a time is max effort as hard as you can, and then you take 20 seconds of rest and then keep doing it over and over and over again. That's probably something I do.
On the topic of giving advice, we have a lot of kids in this arena who are still kind of going through their foster care journey. As someone who's been through it and looking back, is there anything that you wish you could have told yourself back then that you know now?
Yeah, I would have told myself that, don't worry, everything's going to be okay. Just take everything one day at a time. I think that's probably the biggest message I would say. Just everything is just one day at a time.
We got Ash coming up in the arena. I wanted to ask you your biggest role model specifically in football.
Biggest role model specifically in football? I mean, I keep mentioning my older brother, but it was him. When I was in high school, he actually played college ball. So, in football it was him. I never really had a favorite NFL player growing up or even a favorite team. So, it was always just him.
Speaking of your time growing up, Homedale High School, they actually have an esports team right now. Yeah, if you look at the logos back on the arena, it says Esports States Championship because we kind of get all the Idaho high schools to come in for the state championship.
Yeah.
Imagine yourself, your coach of the Homedale High School esports team right now. What are you going to say to kind of rouse their spirits, that sort of civic pride? How do you get them ready to win the championship? What do you say?
I probably can't say that here.
Looks like we have another question coming to us soon. I'll get that question. I just want to go to Twitch chat really fast. Glacier Wolf wants to ask while you're answering this, what advice do you have for foster parents specifically also going through taking care of foster kids?
Oh, wow, that's a really good question. I wish I was more qualified to ask that. I'm not a foster parent. I would say like it's really hard on foster parents. I mean, it's a big challenge to take in someone who's not their own and teach them in their ways and grow up. I think it's really hard on them, but I think it's really really important. I was very lucky with my foster parents. They moved mountains for me, and I definitely wouldn't be sitting here if it wasn't for them. So the role they played was very insurmountable to my development. Yeah.
We got another question from the arena. 2 seasons into the NFL, are there any moments that already stand out to you? Favorite memory that you have in the NFL so far?
Favorite, probably not anything too specific. I mean, this last season just was super memorable, and first time playing both sides of the ball. I mean, I just try to take in every moment, like going through the year. I mean, this last year, just the whole season was pretty fun.
Milo Ashley, since we were kind of diving into Halo a little bit, wants to know in the Twitch chat, you delved into Halo Infinite just a little bit, but are there any other games, some more classic games that you also, I mean, you had an Xbox and 360 growing up, so I have to imagine the classics really stand out.
I mean, Halo 2 was like the greatest Halo of all time. I mean, if she's asking Halo specifically, but was that the question?
Yeah, okay, favorite Halo game.
Yeah, Halo 2.
Yeah,
Halo 2.
I gotta say, so many sleepovers when you got all 4 of your friends lined up on the couch playing against each other. That's
True.
The purest form of gaming in my humble opinion.
Yeah, on that one map. It's like a little desert, like you're in the what's that? You know what I'm talking about?
Oh man,
you can picture it.
Yeah, I can picture it, but
on each side.
Unfortunately, the memory is just kind of overrun by all the friends getting into it. That's what you remember the most is just the interactions between friends rather than every little minute detail. So. We also got other games in here other than just the computers and gaming stations as well. We've got darts, pinball machines, arcade games. Did you ever get into arcades at all or arcade games or have any memories with that growing up?
Definitely love a good pinball machine. I mean, haven't played arcade games much, but they're fun. And if I have access to it, I'll probably play some.
All right. Well, we also got another question in Twitch chat. We've got Riley Boyd asking, how excited were you which Coach Danielson got the nod for head coach?
Oh, I was so excited. I couldn't think of anyone more deserving, and just seeing how the players and my former teammates reacted, and I knew how much they wanted him to be the head coach, so it was just really cool to see. Made me happy.
I want to ask one question in particular, because when we had the football team here, it was the final stop on their Bronco Olympics, that preseason warm-up. Do you have any memories from that at all, of just kind of those fun competitions you would have with teammates at all?
I mean, those were super fun, just being able to have like your own team, obviously a mix of all different players on the roster from different positions, and it just brings a team closer together. I mean, they were super awesome, but I mean, we did so many fun things. I mean, I actually never was on a winning team, but that's okay. But no, those were super fun times. Yeah, wish I was able to come here.
Any event in particular? I mean, I know we didn't have like esports competition or esports tournament, but is there like one event of the Bronco Olympics that really stands out to you that you still remember?
I'd probably say like the home run derby we would do. We would like sit up or be on the blue, and we would hit like tennis balls, like trying to hit them into like the upper deck, and like that was kind of fun.
We've asked a lot of questions about advice you'd give to foster kids, advice you'd give to foster parents. Centering back as to, the reason we're all here today, what about people who are outside the foster system who might want to still make a contribution or an impact? Do you have any advice to them on things they can generally do to help foster kids and their parents?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, resources out there and foundations and very tight-knit community that want to help, foster kids and in this cause. So I would just say, reach out and try and find ways to, volunteer your time, help out, do things of that nature. All
right. Final question before we get out. We're going to be playing Fall Guys with a whole bunch of other people here. Are you... I have to hope that I get a guarantee from you that if one of these kids beats you, we'll get a side-by-side view of you and the the champion of Fall Guys next to you is kind of the size difference. Can I get okay. We got to get a photo op in there. Then we can have just a picture of you, which is always great. It's great that we're here in the arena. We can put that. Have you noticed all the student portraits up there too?
Yeah, I've seen.
Yeah, we could just
past players and current players. Yeah.
All Americans. We can just get one of you. We'll say all-time Fall Guys champion, Scott Matlock. There we go. Well, thank you so much, Scott, for joining us here. Thank you for all of you joining out there on the internet for supplying your questions, and thank you to all the attendees here in the arena. We hope you have a great time for this gaming night we've got set up for you. And a quick round of applause for Scott and everyone from the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare for coming to provide this great evening of fun. All right, that will do it for our little interview with Scott Matlock. Thank you so much again for taking all our questions, and we hope to see you next time here on Boise State Esports, either on Twitch or YouTube. We're glad to see you, and we hope to see you next time we're online.